In this video, we're going to look at how many grams of O2 will be formed from 3.76 grams of KClO3. So the first step of this is to look at the equation and just acknowledge where it is so that you know what you're looking for. Then, go ahead and write what you know given in the problem. So if I look at the problem and I highlight what I know, they give me 3.76 grams of KClO3, and I'm going to highlight what I want in red. So I want grams of O2. So we start with 3.76 grams of KClO3, and I want grams of O2. So the first step is, notice my units are in grams. I can't keep them in grams. In order to convert from one molecule to another, you have to work in the universal language, and that is moles. So you have to convert this grams to moles. In order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and set up a ratio. And in this first step, I'm going from grams to moles. And if I want to cancel KClO3, I know that I need grams on the bottom. And the reason why that's the case is, in order to cancel the unit, they have to be in opposite sides. What that means is what I want is on top. So in this case, I'm getting moles of KClO3. So I'm going to set up a ratio that's equivalent. So 1 mole of KClO3 is equal to how many grams of KClO3? Where I get that number is in the periodic table. So if I look at the periodic table, I'm going to look for my K. So that is 39.09 grams. And I can find that with the bottom number of the periodic table. So 39.09 is K. 35.45 is my Cl. And my O is 15.999. So let's go ahead and put that all together now. So if I want the sum or the mass of KClO3, I have to add all of those together. So let's go ahead and put that work maybe down here. So let's see, the numbers I have, 39.09 or 39.08. So that's my K. My C is, or my Cl is 35.45. And then I have 3 O's, so I'm going to multiply 3 times 15.999. So I'll give you a second to put that into a calculator. All right, and you should get 122.55. And that's also another word for molar mass. So if you ever get asked to find molar mass, you know that you should just be adding all of the different elements together. So if I stopped at this first step, that would be how I convert from grams to moles. So my second step, I have to do moles to moles to convert from one to another. So I want to convert from KClO3 to O2. So right now the unit that I have is moles of KClO3. Let's say that if I want to cancel moles of KClO3, what I talked about in that first step is I have to do it on the opposite side because that's how they cancel, or that's how they divide. So I'm going to write moles of KClO3 because I want to cancel these units right here. But I'm not done. I have to write what I want. So what I want is moles of O2 because that's what the problem is asking for here. So this second step is called moles to moles conversion. And in this second step, that's the only step where you are going to use the equation and the balanced numbers here, coefficients. And the way that you use them is you look for the coefficient, and that's the number that will go here. So 2, because in front of KClO3, I have a 2. In front of O2, I have a 3. So a 3 will go up here. Now, I am in moles of O2. But I'm not done yet, because the problem asked me to find grams of O2. So I have to do a final conversion of moles to grams. So right now my unit is in moles of O2. I want to cancel moles of O2. So that goes on the bottom. And now these units will cancel. And I'm left with what I want, which is grams of O2. So just like the previous step on step 1, I have to find what equals 1 mole of O2. And that's the molar mass of O2. So the way that I do that is I look at the periodic table. Oxygen is worth 15.999. But I'm not done yet. And the reason why is because I have O2. That means that there's 2 oxygens. So that's 15.999 plus 15.999. And that is going to be my molar mass. And when I add these together, I get 31.998 grams of O2. Okay, so now my final unit is in grams of O2, and I know that I'm done. The final step, you solve this together. And the way that I do this is I take this entire top row and I multiply it together. So I'm going to take 3.76 times 1 times 3 times 31.998. I'll give you a second to plug that into a calculator. Pause the video if you need to. Okay, you should get 360.94 grams of O2. And then you take the bottom row and you multiply this all together. So I take 122.55 times 2 times 1. And I should get 245.10. In order to find your answer, you have to divide the top by the bottom. So divide this number by this number. And my final answer is 1.47 grams of O2. And that's it.